Hi everyone, welcome back for another Asana Lab. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ariel and I love talking about yoga poses. So today we're going to break down the difference between Pigeon and FigureFour, what these poses are used for, and which one to use if you have injury. So both of these poses stretch what is called the pelvic sling. The psoas muscle connects from the front of the pelvis to the back, and the piriformis muscle, which is right under your glutes or your butt, connects from the back to the front. These crisscrossing muscles create the sling to hold the pelvis. So by doing Pigeon or FigureFour, we're not only opening that pelvic sling, but we're loosening the low back. So these are great poses for back pain or back stiffness. Here's the difference between them. If you have a knee injury, please do FigureFour instead of Pigeon, since Pigeon does put some pressure on the knee. If you have sciatica, while both poses are good for sciatica, FigureFour is a little bit better. But if you want to really stretch the hip flexor in the front, you're going to want to do Pigeon. FigureFour doesn't quite stretch that hip flexor as much as the glute. So those are the differences. Let's rush right into or jump right into the alignment. So we'll start with FigureFour. FigureFour is done lying on your back. And we'll hook the right knee into the chest and just hook it right at the top of the kneecap there. You want your hips, pelvis square, short to your shoulders. And the most important piece here is the whole spine stays on the ground, including the tailbone. So we're not going to roll the tailbone off the ground. You may just press that right knee open, noting that the shoulders are on the earth. Or you may lift the left shin parallel to the ground and interlace the fingers. Note that I'm still keeping my tailbone on the earth, and my shoulders are relaxed. If you start rounding that tailbone off the ground, or if you start doing this with your shoulders, or even having to lift your neck, back off the pose and come back to just pressing the knee open. If we lift the tailbone off the ground, we've now lost the deep hip opener. If we keep the tailbone glued to the earth, we're isolating the hips. And as you can see, this has very little pressure on the knee. So you can also interlace the fingers around the shin, as long as those shoulders and tailbone remain on the ground. Pretty straightforward, right? Pigeon is a little more complicated. So in Pigeon, we enter Pigeon from all different ways, but I'll just show you from all four is the simplest way to enter it. We're going to slide our left knee right behind our left wrist. And just turn the left foot towards the right a little bit so it clears the right leg. So this is where we'll start. Tuck the right toes under and extend the right leg back. Untuck the toes. In Pigeon, you want the knee in alignment with its hip. So it's not underneath the chest, it's out behind that wrist. Again, we want to square off the hips here. And you can even tuck those back toes under and extend the leg just to get a feel for that hip flexor stretch. So really extend the leg. You should be able to feel a slight back bend and pull the belly in. There should be a feeling of lifting through the hips, extending, And as you lift, find your back bend. So Pigeon, it was originally a back bend. So I really suggest you can use blocks and just to find the real back bend here. Oh my gosh, that feels really good. Now, if you find that that hip wants to lift off the ground, I'll show you on the other side. Take a prop and bring it underneath the hip. You can do this with a block or a bolster. If you are flexible in this pose, you may adjust where the front foot is. And I'm going to show you this on the left side again. I'm going to bring it right behind my wrist. And now I can start to open the leg. The more it comes parallel to the top of the mat, the deeper a stretch you're going to get. Now, once it starts to become parallel, make sure that you haven't lost squaring the hips. Make sure that the hips are still square and that you can still lift the heart. And then you can take this pose into lying down. You can lie down on a bolster in front of you. Oh, that's nice. Or you can lie down on the earth. Again, don't lean into one hip or the other. Keep your hips square. And imagine someone is just gently pressing down through both hips at the same time. So you're stretching the front of this hip, the leg that's behind, and the back side of the front hip. A perfect pelvic sling stretch. And find length in your spine. And if anything, feel the belly pull in to puff up the low back and the kidneys. Only when you're lying down. Gosh, that feels really good. Who here loves a good pigeon or FigureFour? I do. I hope this is helpful, and I'm here to break down the poses and make them accessible to you. I look forward to seeing you again, and have a wonderful day. I send you blessings from beyond the mat.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to click the subscribe button to stay informed of new content. Write in the comments below what pose you would like me to cover in the next Asana Lab.